Are you looking for convenience and jungle living out here in Oahu? Well, the best place that I would say that facilitates both of those would be Manoa. So in this video, we are going to go over the Valley of Rainbows, also known as Manoa, go over the pros and cons, cost of living, the type of homes you're going to find, and much, much more. So stick around to get all the details. See you on the other side. What's going on, guys? Patrick here from PatrickLongRealty.com, and today we are going to cover one of my favorite spots out here. Very unique spot known as Manoa, also coined the Valley of Rainbows, and for good reason. Manoa does offer a lot for someone who's looking for jungle living, but also the convenience of being close to Honolulu, which is only a few minutes away. Now, there's definitely some pros and cons. It's not the best spot for everyone, but we're going to cover all of that. Now, if you have any questions about real estate out here in Hawaii, or specifically Manoa, feel free to reach out to me. I have my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. With that being said, let's jump into what it's like living in Manoa. Now, before we jump into what Manoa is today, we need to truly understand the history of Manoa because there is a lot of it. Now, Manoa historically was a place for agriculture, which was a strong place for growing taro, the local kalo plant out here, also made for eating that lovely purple pudding that we see called poi. And as time passed, we saw that a lot of immigrants came in, some Chinese, Japanese, where they introduced lots of rice paddies, as well as plentiful flower farms, which has made this place absolutely stunning. Now, Manoa is also home to one of the most prestigious private schools out here, known as Punahou, also home to some people you might be aware of. Barack Obama, one of the co-founders of AOL and founder of eBay, if you could believe that. Now let's get into what the neighborhood is today and what you can expect. Now, Manoa is definitely one of the more affluent areas out here in Oahu, but it does provide this community and this sense of quiet calmness in the valleys that you'll be surrounded with. Now, because Manoa is generally in a valley, you're going to see lots of lush greenery, but also you're going to experience lots of rainfall. So that might be something that you might be a fan of or not a fan of, but something to keep in mind. Now, you'll also notice in Manoa, because it's an older neighborhood, they're going to have lots of skinny streets. So you might have certain streets where you'll be driving and you might need to allow somebody to pass you. There's not a ton of street parking, so hopefully the home that you purchase has plenty of parking inside the home or in the garage. But once again, this neighborhood is almost out of Jumanji. When you're driving around, it's absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. You're going to have, again, lush greenery everywhere, mature trees that will be overhanging as you drive through this stunning neighborhood. But it definitely is something you need to experience for yourself. Now, Manoa itself, as you can see in this map, is split up into Upper Manoa and Lower Manoa. Now, what you'll notice in Lower Manoa is it's going to be a little bit drier. It's going to be closer to the main freeway and Honolulu, of course. You're also going to see lower price points in the Lower Manoa area. Now, up in Upper Manoa, it's almost the complete opposite. You're going to see bigger lots, bigger homes, higher price points, as well as more rainfall because you are closer to the mountains. Now, Manoa does have a mix of homes. You'll see some that have been completely modernized, but you will have the highest density of historic homes out in Manoa. And depending on the renovations that you're doing, there may be strict rules on what you can and what you can't do to facilitate and maintain that history of those historic homes. Now, these historic homes, as you can see in some of these photos right here, are very unique to Manoa. Now, some of these homes are going to be more craftsman, architectural inspired homes, and then you'll see some more on the standard plantation style homes. Now, if you're looking to purchase a home out in Manoa, the median sales price right now in 2025 is just under $1.5 million. Now, you can find some fixer-uppers, definitely closer to that $1 million price point. And then on the other side, you can find much more modern or large lot homes anywhere from $2.5 to $4 million. Now, if schooling is something that's very important for your family, Manoa is a great option for you. As we mentioned before, you have Punahou, which is one of the most prestigious private schools out here, but it's definitely going to cost you generally about $30,000 a year. You have Manoa Elementary. Other private school options are Mid-Pacific Institute, Mary Knoll, as well as Sacred Hearts Academy. Now, when it comes to public schools, you have Manoa Elementary, as well as Noelani Elementary, which are some of the top-rated public schools on the island. And then you also have a charter school known as UH Lab. So you have plenty of options depending on the specialty or the type of schooling that you're looking for, whether it's Sacred Hearts, which is a girls' Catholic school, or if you're looking for something that has more of a unique curriculum, which would be like UH Labs, the charter school. And then, of course, if you want to make sure they get top of the line schooling, you can always fork out some cash and get into one of those beautiful private schools. Now, with that being said, we did get exclusive access to a stunning home out here in Manoa. So let's drive on down to Manoa and check out this stunning property. Now we talked a lot about living in Manoa, but really we want to get out in the field and we want to see what one of these beautiful homes looks like. So we do have actually exclusive access to this stunning home, which you might actually see on the infamous HGTV show, Renovation Aloha. And this is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, single family home, 2,200 square feet of living area, sitting on a 7,700 square foot lot. And there's a bonus, which we're gonna show you right now. Now, Manoa is actually one of very historic areas. It actually has the highest density of historic homes, but this property has been modernized. And one thing I like right away, you're always gonna be taking your shoes off when you're out here in Hawaii, and there's a nice area for you to sit down and do that, not just slip them off outside. But we have 2,200 square feet to cover, so let's jump into it right now. The second you walk into this stunning home, you're gonna notice a lot of beautiful features. Now, one thing that I absolutely love, as soon as you step in, we have this open concept living. Of course, you have a living area here. You also have a dining room, split ACs to keep you nice and cool. Good news is out here, you do get a lot of rain, so you might not have to use it that much, but the best part is definitely the kitchen. And these guys have killer designs. They keep getting better and better every single year. But you can see that they have the quartz countertops, waterfall style. And what I really like is, because Manoa is all about the lush greenness all around us, is that you can kind of feel that inside as well with a lot of the wood grain touches matching the greenery that's outside and even inside. So as you can see in the kitchen, they do have the wood grain cabinets matched with the white cabinets, white countertops. What I really like is when it comes to doing flooring and wood cabinets, I don't like to have the same color. And these guys actually have their own brand. Quick plug, definitely check them out. This is actually called Windward Walnut. So if you're looking for a high quality, unique design when it comes to colors, check out their Windward Walnut. Now it does match very well because we don't want to have the same color. Came out really well. And again, to bring in the greenery from the outside indoors, you can see they have some unique custom tile. They also used every square foot of this property. Not only do you have plenty of cabinets in the kitchen, but also in this area, which generally would be dead space, you have cabinets for extra storage, but also if you want to make a nice coffee, you have a dedicated place for that. Once you're done with entertaining and it's time to tuck in, go to bed, we have all of the living quarters and all the bedrooms on this side of the home with some very unique designs, not only to the bedrooms, but definitely to the bathrooms. Now the home, of course, provides you 3 beautifully stunning designed guest bedrooms, but in the primary, you have one of the best parts, one of many things, which is the primary bathroom, and this thing is cherry. It's very difficult to find unique designs, but this place screams it all over the place. One thing that I absolutely love is the shower. No glass needed. It's perfectly funneling into the drain here. Also, you have the LED lights, which really sets a nice tone. The greenery, again, bringing in that forest vibes that we get from Manoa. You have a beautiful soaking tub, and the thing that they really paid attention to was the details. They matched the soaking tub to exactly the vanity. Generally, the primary bathroom is gonna take all of the lights, all of the glory, but you can see even in the guest bathroom, they did an amazing job with the renovations. And the theme is, especially out here in Manoa, is nature. And you can see every part of this property has been renovated with that in mind. So with this nice, once again, wood grain tile. Generally, you'll see wood grain in the floors, maybe in the cabinets, but very rarely in the tile. But they wanted to make sure that you really feel like you're in nature, whether you're inside or outside. They did a beautiful job with that. When it comes to laundry, generally out here in Hawaii, washer and dryers are kind of an afterthought. You're gonna find them usually in the garage or even in the backyard. This property has a proper laundry room with all the cabinets you could possibly think of and 2 full-size washer and dryers. Now you're in Manoa. Inside's beautiful, but you definitely want to enjoy the outdoors, and this property does actually offer some outdoor space. So whether it's you barbecuing with some friends, or if the keikis need something to do, you got plenty of space for that. We talked about how this beautiful home has 4 bedrooms, but at the beginning of the video, I said there's 5 bedrooms, and there was a bonus, and that's what we're gonna check out right now. So behind this beautiful door, if you wanna help with that payment with that $2.2 million property, well, you can do that with your extra ADU unit. Now imagine you have the grandparents in town and just wanna keep them close, but not too close. You do have this extra unit they can enjoy in style and in comfort. You've got your split AC, fully renovated kitchen, and usually, sometimes the ADUs or extra units maybe are not as nice as the main house, but this one is just as nice and matches all of the finishes that are in the primary home. Now that was a beautiful property, but now let's get a better understanding of the pros and cons of living out here in Manoa. The first pro would definitely be, as I've said again, I've said this word a lot, is lush natural beauty. You are going to be surrounded by greenery, mature trees, as well as tons of rainbows, and of course having access to Manoa Falls, which is not too far. The second pro would be cooler climate. If you're down in Honolulu, especially during those summer days, you can definitely feel the heat, but Manoa, because it is closer to that valley and you have lots of canopy coverage, you're going to get more rainfall, you're going to have cooler climate. So people who are looking for cooler climates but still want to be close to Honolulu, Manoa is a great option. The next pro would be a peaceful community. If you were looking for a place, again, that just screams tranquility and at a quiet tone, Manoa is definitely one of those spots that's going to provide a quiet residential feel and definitely a tight-knit community. The next pro would definitely be convenience. Again, you feel like you're in a whole different world, but only a 10 or 15-minute drive can get you to some of the great restaurants in Waikiki or down to Waikiki Beach. The next pro would be historical charm. In some neighborhoods, you'll see there'll be these monster mansions and definitely modernized communities, or if you go to Ever Kapolei, where it's more developed suburban feel, that's not what you're going to get in Manoa. You're going to get more of a historic feel. Again, it's going to be something very unique to the island. And the last pro would definitely be active outdoor lifestyle. Now you're going to see that across the island. Everybody's generally active because it's beautiful out here, but just being surrounded by even more beauty in Manoa, you're going to see lots of people walking around. You have easy access to places to run, to hike, and of course, easy access to Honolulu if you want to go surf. Now, what are some of the cons of living in Manoa? Well, the first one, as we mentioned before, with all that lush greenery, to have that lush greenery, you need rainfall. So if you're not a big fan of rain or mud, this might not be the best match for you because you're closer to that mountain ridge and within a valley, you are going to see more rainfall. The next con would be higher maintenance costs. A lot of these homes are historic homes, and because they are older, you might find yourself with certain maintenance things you're gonna have to fix. Maybe it's an older roof, maybe it's old plumbing, old electrical, whatever it is. With older homes generally come higher expenses when it comes to maintenance. And not to mention, with more climate and more rainfall, you might find yourself with more mud, possibly foundation issues, as well as mold. Again, on top of additional rainfall, not only do we see maintenance with homes, but sometimes there's certain areas that may not have the best runoff for water. With more rain can increase certain flooding risks. Now the next con, now again, this is probably not something you're worried about because if you're looking at Manoa, you're looking for quiet residential areas, but if you're looking for nightlife in Manoa, you're not going to find it. But fortunately, you're only about 10-15 minutes from the wild streets of Waikiki. And the last con would be, if you live close to Manoa Falls, expect a lot of people to be parked on your street because a lot of tourists and locals alike like to enjoy and hike over in Manoa, and they might be parking on your street, so it might be a little busy if you're living close to Manoa Falls. Okay, that was a lot of insight. Now, who is Manoa good for and who is not Manoa good for? Now, if you're looking for a place that just provides lots of history, historic homes, Manoa might be a good option for you. If you enjoy having a jungle feel, but also being conveniently close to town, if you want to get out of the jungle, then Manoa might be a great option for you. And of course, if you are looking for cooler climates, but also looking for great education nearby, Manoa is a great option. Now, who's Manoa not good for? Well, it's essentially all the opposite things I just said. If you do not like rain or cooler climates, if you want a brand new home, then Manoa is not going to be a good option for you if they're all historic homes. And if you want vibrant nightlife and you want to live in that vibrant nightlife, then Manoa is definitely not the option for you. This is a quiet, historic, and residential neighborhood. All right, guys, well, that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys have any questions or if you got any value out of this video, do me a huge favor, smash that like button as well as click the subscribe and notification bell. Provide any commentary. Did I cover everything? Is there anything that I missed? Put it in the comment section down below. And also, if you need some boots on the grounds or have any questions about Manoa or anything when it comes to real estate out here in Hawaii, feel free to reach out to me. Got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. I'm Patrick Longley with Team Roger That. Hope you have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.